Well, how is your garden growing this summer? It may be in need of a makeover.
It's not too late to make your garden beautiful, and here to help us plan is Program Director of Parkland College Horticulture and Landscape Design, Kaizad Irani. Welcome. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, you brought in some great pieces, so it's not too late to get that garden going.
No, basically what I did is I brought in a couple of container combinations, but not necessarily just to talk about container plants, but if you will, this is like how your entire landscape would be in a miniature scale.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to kind of talk about, textures, colors, things that you could do. For example, if you're looking at the one on my left here, this is more of a complementary color combination where you're sort of seeing the light greens and the yellows that complement each other.
And going into kind of the dark green of the leaves
dark
on
greens,
this.
and then just a slight splash of color. So people who don't want a strong, garish garden, that's more for them.
I mean, if you want a garish garden, go
that's
for
okay,
it, right?
absolutely, nothing wrong. And this one
more of a blend.
kind of is the opposite. You've got a few contrasting colors here. This is a purple coleus, which could be actually in your real landscape. This could be a tree. It could be a large shrub with some of the smaller plants. This actually is a lamium, which has a variegated color on it. So you could either use hostas or a lot of different perennials. These are all annuals, by the way. I personally prefer more perennials because they keep coming back year after year.
Sure.
And you don't have to plant them, but just different contrasting colors, textures. Also be thinking about fall.
Yeah, well, I want to talk more about kind of the artistic approach too, but also I want to point out the fact that these containers, this is really fascinating to me because you have multiple kinds of flowers and multiple kinds of plants all within one. And so if people are worried, I don't want to plant these and then lose them, I mean, you could always put them in this for the rest of the summer and then just take them in, right?
You could, except some of the annuals probably, unless you've got a really nice sunny area where you can actually keep them over winter, because a lot of the annuals do not winter very well indoors. But there are certain plants that you could bring them inside.
Okay, now, when you buy plants and it says you have to plant them so many inches apart from one another, does that apply when you put it in a container? Because I would think you wouldn't have that
Not
space.
necessarily. Like this guy could really, I mean, there's one lamium in there which is really spread, not in a container, because containers are almost instant impact. We live in such a microwave society. Pop it in, pop it out, let's go. And that's what containers will do for you.
He put these in last week for the show, and bam, here they all are.
Actually, yesterday, and look what happened today. So,
Now, you were mentioning thinking about fall, thinking ahead. What should we be
Absolutely.
thinking?
I mean, fall, we live in such a wonderful area where fall colors are just spectacular. I love Illinois for that, and many other reasons, of course. But be thinking now, because people wait until fall. So, for example, if you're looking, look for foliage. In fall, there's not many plants that have really good flowers on them, but the foliage, as the colors start changing. So think of the oranges, sort of the mahoganies, the reds and the yellows. And so go to your local garden centers. If you're working with a local landscape designer or architect, or tell them what your color preferences are. And you could even start planting your fall garden. Well, actually, you should now, or even earlier, and you could have an awesome fall landscape.
Yeah, and all those things that you talked about the last time you were here in terms of height and texture and color, all should be. If you haven't seen that segment, really go online and do a search within our website.
We talked about the elements of design, and I think that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so at Parkland, that's what you teach people, the element of design?
Yes, I teach several classes. One of my more popular classes is a landscape design class, Introduction to Landscape Design. Along with that, we also teach classes on how to identify plants, greenhouse. So it's a full 2-year program that we offer at Parkland College.
Which you can take either for a certificate, right, or is it an AA?
Yes, certificate or an associate's, and then students then can even go in and complete a bachelor's.
Or just take the class because you want to, because it's interesting.
A lot of homeowners do that. It's a lot of fun. So absolutely, we welcome it.
There you go. Okay, now, but would you say most plants are probably picked over right now out at the stores?
Not necessarily. In fact, as I was looking for some of these plants, I was at several garden centers. There's still a few left. I mean, yes, earlier on, a lot of these get taken, but right now they're still not that bad at all.
Well, good. Maybe you could get a good deal.
Yeah.
I'm working on pruning over here.
Just
going to town.
Yeah, deadheading, pruning. This is
This is great stuff.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Certainly.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
My
Beautiful
pleasure.
arrangements you've done here.
Well, thank you.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Kaizad Irani is with the Parkland College Horticulture program.
That's correct.
That is, and so you can check out not only today's segment and his information on CILiving.tv, but really go and check out the last time that he was here too. It was a great segment.
Yeah. Well, coming